there's a viral graph that is showing something probably many of us have seen anecdotally. These data come from the perception gap. You can pore through the broader study if you like, but the gap shows that Democrats have fewer Republican friends as they get more education credentials, whereas Republicans pretty much keep the same number of Democrat friends, whether they are grade school educated or whether they have PhDs. The x-axis is less educated to more educated. Now, this is a little imprecise because holding a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or even a PhD today does not necessarily imply that one is more educated or better educated, but it shows you got more credentials. The y-axis is percent of people saying almost all of my friends hold the same political views. What does this show? It shows that libs are more exclusionary. I've even seen this with friends of mine who are very liberal, but in high school they don't really care. They're friends with Republicans, but as they start to go on, especially if they go to graduate school, they just will cease to be friends with Republicans. I've seen it happen with my own two eyes. They're more exclusionary. They're less open-minded, which is ironic because they pretend that they're very open-minded. But also the other thing that this shows is just a raw political fact, which is that the left dominates universities and the professional careers. That's really what it's about. Because you become friends, usually just with the people around you. There are three kinds of friendship: friendship of pleasure, like hobbies; friendship of utility, like networking; and then friendship of the good, a virtuous friendship. And virtuous friendship is not really predicated on geographic proximity or having lunch together or something. But the other two kinds, which are much more prominent in our age, which mocks the very concept of virtue and classical philosophy, those are dependent on where you are. And so the left dominates the universities and the professional careers. So it's no surprise. If you're a Republican, you end up in some lib school, which is statistically most of the universities, then just if you're going to have friends at all, a greater percentage of your friends are going to be of a different political persuasion. If you go and work at Deloitte or you go work at Goldman Sachs or something, just necessarily, if you're going to have friends at all, a greater percentage of your friends are going to have a different political view than you because those places, the universities are 90% plus left wing, and the professions are probably about the same, Democrat versus Republican. So that's really, it shows you just a cold, hard political fact. Yes, the libs are closed-minded. Yes, the libs are prejudiced and in a bad way. They're bigoted in a really nasty way and everything. But it's also, they just have political power. And so maybe this should inspire Republicans to not just to wag our fingers and say, you guys are closed-minded, you need to be more open-minded. But maybe it should inspire Republicans to attain power in those places where the Democrats start to become exclusionary. It looks like it's right after high school. You can't quite tell on the less to more educated axis of the graph, but looks like right around high school, right when the libs the libs don't control every high school in the country, right around high school, starting in the universities and the professions, that's where they start to get their power. So maybe we should take some power back there as well. You want to talk about the bubble of the credentialed liberal class. An editor of Mother Jones, a very left-wing magazine, has just gone viral. This woman, Clara Jeffrey, because of a harrowing experience she apparently had on an Alaska Airlines flight. Her words: creeping Christian nationalism alert. Alaska Air flight attendant just wished us a blessed night as we landed in San Francisco, to groans. Other adjectives that would have sufficed: great, awesome, fabulous, amazing, fantastic. As my roommate said, this ain't Montgomery, sweetie. Can you imagine? That woman, this creeping Christian nationalist, this woman wished people a blessed night. I hope for this Mother Jones editor's sake that she never sneezes. Can you imagine how horrified she would be? Could be the case that multiple people around her would have the audacity to say, God bless you. Could you imagine? What's funny is she doesn't know the meaning of some of these words too, like awesome. But awesome comes from the same word as awful. It refers to awe, which relates to holy fear, the sublime. Our God is awesome, right? You know, he's the most awesome, you would say. This woman is allergic, speaking of sneezes, to anything even touching on religion. It's kind of like, it's the bell curve meme. It's the IQ bell curve meme, where the really dumb drooling guy and the really smart Jedi guy think the same thing, and it's the midwit in the middle who makes it too complicated. The drooling dumb guy is going to say, oh, duh, kind of seems like these people hate God. And then the midwit is going to explain, no, but actually it has to do with an understanding and a developing conception of the separation of church and state and the pluralism that is so important to our democratic society, where you can't presume that people have the same religious views. But then the smart guy at the end, you just say, yeah, they hate God. That's really what it is. They hate God. And they hate God because they themselves want to be gods, and they want to control everything around them, and they want to be totally sovereign, and they want to be immortal, and they want to be gods. And this is the kind of thing that has been nagging at human nature since Eve reached for that apple in the Garden of Eden, and it's been a problem ever since. It's our pride, and it goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Bless her heart. Bless that woman's heart. That was a great clip. Now, hold up, ring the bell, subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel, and we will see you next time.